You're going to fight even if you were sick with COVID?
Yeah, because like you go through a whole camp, and
Were you still training when you were that sick?
well, that was just like the first day it hit. So I was like shivering that day, and then the next day I was supposed to leave. So I woke up the next day, my flight's in like a couple hours, and I'm like, why the heck am I freezing, whatever? And then like I'm calling them everything that time, and I'm like, I don't want to fly to Vegas, and then them send me back. But for me, I'm like, if it's a cold, I'll get over it in a day. I'll get over it in a couple of days, and then the fight's Saturday, so I still have 3 or 4 days to get over it.
Right.
Like
How many days did it take you to get over COVID?
It was probably like 2 days of just like chills and shivering, and then just like body soreness. But like by like day 3, I was feeling okay. But like I was like in the best shape ever. Like you're in your camp, you're healthy, yeah.
Did you work out at all while you had COVID?
It was like a depressing moment because my fight just got canceled because of it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, fudge this. I'm just like eating trash and laying there.
Yeah.
And then probably about like day 4, then I was like, all right, I need to get up and reschedule this fight and then do something. So like by day 4, I was back to training regularly again.
There's a lot of guys who tried to work out through COVID while they had it, and they got fucked up. That's Khamzat.
Yeah.
Khamzat got fucked up because he's too tough. Too tough for his own good. And while he was sick as a dog, that motherfucker was still going to the gym and doing rounds in the bag and working out like a beast. And then he was throwing up blood.
Yeah, I was hearing about that.
Yeah.
I was hearing that. Like, hey, he's throwing up blood. I was like, what?
Yeah, he was coughing up. Like his whole toilet bowl was filled with blood. And the question with that is, like, what has that done to his lungs? Like, does he have scarring on his lungs? Are his lungs at full capacity? Because he was hospitalized more than once with COVID. Like, it was a big deal because he's such a knucklehead in that regard. Like, he's so tough that he worked himself to the bone while he was sick with COVID and then got hospitalized, I think twice.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Cody Garbrandt did the same thing. Cody Garbrandt had COVID, kept working out, kept training, never got himself tested. Didn't find out he had COVID the whole time until he went to Mike Tyson's. Mike Tyson had him on a podcast, and it was during the pandemic, so they tested him. They go, hey, man, you got COVID. And he's like, oh, that's what's been going on. It had COVID for fucking weeks.
Oh, wow, really?
Working out. Still working out. Just too tough. Too tough for his own good. So for a long time, never got over COVID because he kept training.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
But, I mean, for me, like I said, who knows if it wasn't my fight week, if I would have just still continued on, or if I ever got even tested.
Right.
Like, I would have figured it was like a regular, normal cold.
Well,
got over the chills.
When DC was training for Stipe, he got COVID in camp.
Yeah.
And still fought and won. I mean, he worked through it. Just worked through COVID.
You just got to adjust.
Yeah, he adjusted, and he just, DC rather is very smart, so he didn't train too hard.
Yeah.
He just knew what his body was telling him and then got over it and kept training. So he had like a few slow days where wasn't pushing it very hard. But apparently Khamzat is just, fuck, I kill everybody. I kill everybody. So he's just getting in the gym, coughing up a storm while he's sick as fuck. You know, it was real bad for a lot of people that didn't take time off, didn't take breaks. Because if you think you're tough, the problem with being tough is you are breaking down your immune system every time you work out hard. So if you're sick already, so immune system's compromised, and then you're breaking your body down because you're tough, because you're working out, now the COVID's really getting into your body. I mean, that can happen with the flu. That can happen with everything.
Yeah, and